Hi, my name is Aimée Felone and I'm Managing Director here at Knights Of. Knights Of is an inclusive children's publishing company designed to make books for kids aged 5 and up. Now, my job as a Managing Director is really hard to summarise in one short sentence, so I'll give you an example of what it is that I'm getting up to today. Later on, I've got some meetings with an audio publisher where we'll be talking about how to turn our physical books into audiobooks. I'm also talking to our team out in Australia about how to get our titles into that territory, and later on I'll also be approving some covers. A big part of being a managing director is also managing the various teams that make up Knights Of. And so I have regular meetings with our marketing team, design, sales and editorial to make sure that we're all running and working smoothly. So how did I get into the book industry? I took a pretty traditional route in. I did a 4-year English literature degree, and then once I graduated, I spent a year interning. I interned at small literary agencies and large literary agencies, and a few independent and large publishing houses as well. After my year of interning, I was really kind of determined to get a permanent job and managed to get an entry-level job at a large children's publishing company. And I was there for a couple of years, but whilst I was there, I kind of noticed that both in terms of the list and the workforce, there was a large lack of representation. And by that I mean there weren't very many authors who weren't white, and I didn't have many colleagues who weren't white either. I was often the only black woman in the room. And so the dream then became, what would true inclusion look like? And so Knights Of was born. And like I said earlier, Knights Of is dedicated to publishing underrepresented voices and making sure that our team come from a wide range of backgrounds as well. So when it comes to the kind of skills that you need to be a managing director, I would say my top 3 are organisation, resilience, and if you can call passion a skill, then I definitely put passion in there as well. Organisation, because running a company, you really have to be organised. There is no like if, buts or maybes about it, especially when you manage other teams and other people as well. If I'm unorganised, then the rest of the team is unorganised and books don't get made. Passion, because as an ethos-driven company, we really kind of live by our drive to make sure that underrepresented voices are published and that they're heard, that they're spotlighted. And so that love of books and that love of making sure that representation flows both from within the team and into our books is really important. And then resilience, because it can get difficult managing lots of people. Everyone has a lot of asks of you. And so I think being able to be resilient and build up like your boundaries as well is really important as a managing director. So then the best part of this job, I would definitely say, is when a manuscript gets sent round from my editorial department, and that excitement when it first comes in, and then seeing that turned into like an award-winning book is like the real exciting part of the job for me. And then getting to see kids' reactions as well, you know, being in children's publishing, it is all about the kids. And so when you get to go on like author events, or you get to see them in schools or libraries, and you just see like the passion and the energy that kids have for the books that you help to create, that is the real special part, I would say, of my job. A question that I'm often asked is, did I know I wanted to run my own company? Did I know that I wanted to work in the book industry? And I'm very open and honest in saying, no, I didn't know that. I, as a child, was like a really huge reader. My mum used to literally drop me off into a bookshop on the weekend and then pick me up a couple of hours later and I'd have a stack of books. So I always knew that I loved reading, but I didn't know that working with books was like a thing that I could do as a long-term career. And so, no, I think my journey in was, you know, both traditional and untraditional in that, yes, I did an English lit degree, but no, I didn't know that this is something that I always wanted to do. Now that I'm here though, I'm a huge advocate for getting into the book industry. It's a really exciting place to be, especially when you're working in kids publishing as well. And then finally, anyone who is looking to get into the book industry, my advice would be, don't think that maybe just because you're not like a huge reader that there isn't a place for you. I would say if you love numbers, you could potentially work in sales. If you love working with different countries and different people from different countries, you could work in rights. If you're a designer, you could work on book covers and even in social media assets. Like, there are many departments that make up the book industry, and so there is a space for you here to use your skills.